Hey guys, welcome to MyOneDayTrips. We are in Barcelona and I'm on the way to Barcelona beach to see the sunrise. It's very quiet this time in the morning. It's around 7 a.m. There are first locals and first cars heading to work. And it's still very quiet and peaceful. Just imagine that in a couple hours, these streets are gonna be super busy. The sunrise here is pretty late. It's at around 7:40, 7:50 a.m. And I commented on that already in one of my other videos about Ibiza, that the time zone in Spain is incorrect. It has been incorrect for decades and they still haven't changed it. But they should, really. All right, well, my camera is recording the sunrise. We're gonna start this video. So it's just before the sunrise and Barcelona feels completely different at this time. No crowds, no noise, just the sound of the waves and a few early runners. This is my favorite way to meet the city before it wakes up. To be honest with you, it took me a couple attempts to actually come and record the sunrise because I hate waking up early, but I do love the views that the sunrise gives. All right guys, the sun is out and the day is starting. And after we've seen this incredible sunrise, it's time for breakfast. Breakfast here is pretty simple, a coffee and something sweet. And as one of the Spanish politicians once said, you have to enjoy a good cup of café con leche, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm now walking around Barcelona looking for a place to have breakfast. As I don't live in this area, I wasn't really sure, and when I looked at the map, there were so many choices. One of safer options would be to come to Baluart. This is their bakery, and right here on the corner they have their cafe. I remember this place. It started as just one place at Practic Hotel years ago, and now I think they have like 13 places, so it's like a small chain around Barcelona. So Baluart is the only place I actually knew in Barceloneta, and it's a really good place. I love their croissants, and their almond croissant is one of my favorites. But today I decided to skip on that one, and I'm going to try an authentic Italian place. Everything looks delicious here. Let's go. So this place feels really authentic the moment you enter here. Today I decided to have two croissants always, obviously. A savory one, which is with ham and cheese, and then a sweet one with white chocolate. And of course, a cup of café con leche. The quality of the croissant is just superb. What I also just realized is how affordable this place is. So a coffee with milk is only €2 and a filled croissant is €1.50. And for a touristy place like Barceloneta, it's actually very strange. And if we also remember the quality, which is absolutely superb, is just so weird, but I'm glad I found this place. It's a real discovery. Okay, I'm done with breakfast and I really couldn't recommend a vol enough. If you're around here, definitely give it a go and try their amazing croissants, and not just. Now I'm at Plaça del Poeta Bosca, and one thing I really do love about Barcelona is how walkable it is. In just a few minutes, you go from the beach to medieval streets, and that's exactly where we're heading now. Let's go. Now that we're done with the sunrise and breakfast, we're going to explore the city. One of my favorite things about Barcelona is just how walkable it is. Just a short walk away from the beach and we're entering El Born, one of my most favorite areas. It's artistic, lively. It could feel a little bit too crowded at times because of how many people it attracts. And here we will see now the Church of Santa Maria del Mar. It's one of the most beautiful churches in the city. It's 9 a.m. and I'm at the foot of Santa Maria del Mar, and this square now is completely empty, but during the day it's packed most of the time. I just checked the opening hours and the church only opens at 10 a.m. so we have no choice but continue our walk and go to the Gothic quarter. I'm now crossing Villa Aitana, and it's, you could say, a divider between El Born and the Gothic quarter. I am at Plaça de Ramon Berenguer el Gran. On the one side you can see a modern hotel, and on the other some Roman medieval walls, and it's only a couple minutes till we get to the Cathedral of Barcelona. We've had some bad weather for nearly a month, but today the weather seems favorable, and I hope we have a great day on this walk. Behind me you can see the name Barcino. Barcino was the original Roman name of modern-day Barcelona that originated in the late 1st century before Christ. It was strategically placed between the Mediterranean Sea and the inland trade routes. Remains of this Roman past can still be seen today in Barcelona's Gothic quarter, where parts of ancient walls and medieval buildings survived. This is the heart of Barcelona, the Gothic quarter. Some of the streets are more than 2,000 years old. Here you can still see Roman walls, medieval buildings, and unfortunately traces of war. Okay, it's slowly getting crowded here, as it usually is in the center of Barcelona. The cathedral just opened, and while the line is not too long, I'll get inside. The Barcelona Cathedral, officially dedicated to the Holy Cross and Santa Eulalia, is famous for its Gothic grandeur, but one of its lesser-known features is the flock of 13 white geese living in its cloister. Let's go see them and I'll tell you the story behind it. Santa Eulalia was a young Christian girl who criticized the Roman authorities for persecuting believers, which eventually led to her arrest. These 13 geese symbolize the age of Santa Eulalia when she was martyred, as well as 13 brutal tortures that she had to endure before her death. That's why she is one of the most important and favorite patron saints of Barcelona and is really loved here. The entrance fee is around 15 euros. However, it's free for Barcelona residents, but even they have to pay 4 euros if they want to go up to the tower, to the observation deck, which I'm about to do now. I love coming to observation decks. They give you great views and you can really appreciate the city from above. From here we can appreciate Montjuic, and if we're looking a little bit further to the right, here we can see Mnac Museum. I'm at the very top of the cathedral. The weather is absolutely amazing. Today the sky is clear, it's very sunny, the views are great. From here we can also see Sagrada Familia, and just yesterday they put up the last part of the cathedral there, the Jesus. You can't really see it yet, it's all covered, but yeah, that was a big event that I missed, unfortunately. It's getting pretty crowded, so here are my final thoughts on the observation deck of the cathedral. Is it worth it? Well, it's just 4 euros and you can still see a good part of Barcelona, so I would definitely say yes. But it's time for us to keep going. Contrary to my expectations of a quick visit, I spent quite a bit of time here at the cathedral, and now it's time to move on. And as the famous market La Boquería is not so far from here, it's about 8-minute walk, so I'm gonna go there and we'll make a quick stop there, and then we'll have some time to actually relax because I feel a little bit of tired. I woke up at 6 this morning and I haven't stopped. It's around 12 o'clock, so we're leaving the cathedral behind and heading towards La Rambla, where we'll have a stop at La Boquería. Once you get out of the cathedral, take Carrer de la Portaferrissa and head down the street towards the famous La Rambla. And right there, take a left and La Boquería will be right there. So it's around 7 or 8 minute walk. La Boquería, officially called Mercat de Sant Josep, stands on the former site of a Carmelitas convent and traces its origins back to 1217. What began as an informal gathering of farmers and vendors near La Rambla became a permanent market in 1840 after the convent had been demolished. Completed in 1914 and later renovated in 2001, it remains one of the most important food markets in Barcelona. If you go to the very back of the market, there is a food court with quite a few food stalls where you can have lunch, but I'm not gonna have lunch here for 3 reasons. First of all, it's way too crowded and I feel a little bit anxious and I don't wanna be waiting for food forever. Second, it's not the cheapest place in Barcelona. And the third, for instance, I love croquetas and I saw that they warmed them up in the microwave. And for me, it's a big no-no. So I'm gonna choose elsewhere, have a break, and then come back to the city and finish our tour for today. All right, I decided to have lunch at Bilbao Berria, which is right near the cathedral. I've never been here before, but let's go check it out and see what it's like. Today it'll be a pinchos day. There we have some pinchos. I know that some people outside Spain call these tapas, but these are not tapas. These are pinchos. They're like little sandwiches, let's say. And one of the most famous ones is a ham croqueta. Pincho, and I love pinchos because they're small and you can try all different kinds of things. One of my concerns before entering this place was that it's very touristy and it's right near the cathedral, so I'm not sure if the food is actually good, but I'm gonna try this croqueta de jamón or ham croqueta now and see if it tastes good. It's not bad, I think, but it's actually cold. And I think the very important thing with croquetas is that they're freshly made. After lunch, I'm walking by Santa Caterina Market. There is some live music here. El Born area is also very nice for walks. There are lots of cafes and restaurants. It's very lively. I especially like this square, which I couldn't find the name for, but you can find it by the name of the fountain that's behind me, which is called Font Fanal. After lunch and this pleasant walk around El Born area, I think it's time for us to leave, and I'll show you how you could spend your afternoon on day 1 in Barcelona. We're heading towards Arc de Triomf and then Parc de la Ciutadella. Walking from El Born area to the park, you can't miss Barcelona's Arc de Triomf. This red brick triumphal arch was designed by the architect José Vilaseca and built in 1888 for the Universal Exhibition, and it's a favorite spot for many to take a picture. The wide promenade in front is perfect for a slow stroll, street performers, or just soaking up the city vibe. From here, Parc Ciutadella is just a few steps away. A perfect transition from city history to nature. Parc de la Ciutadella was built on the former site of a military fortress that was used to control and intimidate the city after Barcelona's defeat in 1714. The fortress became the symbol of oppression against its own population and was hated by the people of the city. In the 19th century, the military fortress was demolished after public pressure, and the space was reclaimed for the people. It was later redesigned for the 1888 Universal Exhibition, transforming it into a public park and a symbol of freedom, civic life, and renewal. And with this, I think that would be enough for your first day in Barcelona. You can spend the rest of your evening just taking a stroll and then be ready for dinner. Remember that dinner time in Spain is usually later, so you're looking at around 9 to 10 p.m. And beware of the places that are open before 8, because with a few exceptions, that might be a tourist trap. Now I'm back to the Gothic quarter and I'm heading towards Plaça Reial. And I'm gonna show it to you and tell you a couple interesting facts about it. So walking down Carrer de Ferran, once you see Carrer del Vidre, you know that you have to turn left and through these arches enter Plaça Reial. Plaça Reial is one of the most elegant squares in Barcelona, located just off La Rambla in the Gothic quarter. Plaça Reial is called the Royal Square in honor of Isabella II of Spain, who ruled when the square was designed in the mid-19th century. It was planned as a prestigious public space to celebrate the Spanish monarchy. Now it's full of restaurants and a bit too touristy. I'm not even sure if the locals really come here, and I've never been to any of these restaurants, so I can't really say if they're good or bad. But I do know for sure that the locals try to avoid anything that's near La Rambla. If you're traveling here, you definitely have to come here, at least to take a picture. One of its most interesting features is the pair of ornate lampposts designed by Antoni Gaudí. Antoni Gaudí designed these lampposts early in his career. I'm not sure how famous he was at the time, but the city of Barcelona ordered lampposts to be placed all around the city, but in the end, they only used these two lampposts at Plaça Reial. From Plaça Reial, or the Royal Square, which is in the Gothic quarter, I'm going to walk back to El Born for dinner. It seems like I found a really good place for dinner, so I'm gonna try it out and hope it's a good choice. Well, as I could have predicted, if a place is on one of those best places to go to list, you'd better book a table, which I haven't. That's why I have to wait for about 40 minutes before I can get a spot. But it's actually a good sign that the restaurant is great. After having waited for about 40 minutes, which is actually not that bad for Barcelona and without a booking, I got a place here at the restaurant right at the entrance. They have typical Spanish and Catalan dishes. This restaurant has been here for about 15 years, and one peculiar fact about this place is that these walls here are real Roman walls. I can feel this dinner is gonna be awesome. Okay, the waiting time is almost non-existent. The food came really fast. Here I have some roast beef, or picanha, as it was called. Then patatas bravas. I absolutely adore patatas bravas, of course. Here we have pan amb tomàquet, tomato bread, and some croquetas, which are very typical here in Spain. And we're gonna try it. Okay, I'm gonna try this roast beef. This is definitely looking interesting. Oh my God, I love it. Actually, only got half a portion, and now I regret it. I should have gotten the full portion. It's so good. It is actually so good. That place that I went to for lunch is not even close. This is the real thing. If you're around here traveling in Barcelona and
you come to El Born, it's an absolute must. Anyways, cheers. I really shouldn't have done that, but I couldn't resist, and they talked me into trying their wonderful milfei. Anyways, here my dinner is over. I just got my check, so I finished my dinner, and the total came to 35 euros 40 cents. Yeah, I don't know, that's the price here. I think it's slightly above average what you would usually get, but for the quality that you get here, it's actually very good. At night, Barcelona is slowly becoming quiet again, almost mysterious. One of my most favorite things to do in such historic places is just to walk around these medieval streets and imagine what life used to be like in the past. And the atmosphere is so authentic and special here. But tomorrow I'm leaving the center because I want to show you a more local side of Barcelona. See you on day 2. Take care.